Saturday morning, it's time to kick off the Experts program here on Power Talk Radio, and that means that our tech expert, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, is joining us. Hello, Luis.
Hello, Mark. How are you today?
Doing really well. Hey, we're wrapping up Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Before we dive into our main topic, which is going to be discussing Apple getting into healthcare, a couple things on cybersecurity awareness. The other day, I received a text, and it says, U.S. Postal Service informs you that your deliveries are on hold. Please update your full address. And then in the text, it gave me an HTTPS address with FAQ, USPS, which is United States Postal Service, cc.us, USPS/address. So it looked legit. But I thought to myself, I don't know about this. And it came in on a text on Thursday morning, and I didn't get any mail Thursday afternoon, or it was Wednesday. I'm sorry, it was Wednesday it came, and I didn't get any mail. So I thought, I wonder if there is something to this. So Wednesday afternoon, I went down to the Monterey Post Office on Hartnell Street, and I talked to the postmaster, and I showed them the text, and she said, oh, absolutely, do not click on that. She said, the Postal Service does not send out text to customers telling them that their mail is on hold. And she said that they've heard from a number of customers who have received this text in the Monterey area, and they want people to know that it's a complete and total scam. One customer, unfortunately, Lewis, clicked on it and was told that their mail was being held and that to receive their mail, they needed to pay a $140 registration fee. And the person went online and, well, the money's gone.
Money's gone, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, text, they call it schmissing, right? So SMS phishing.
Yes.
Becoming really, really popular for cyber criminals because most of us don't expect that we'll get a text that's really some sort of scam, but it's happening more and more. And especially when you get texts from organizations that really shouldn't have your cell phone number, you got to ask yourself, how does the U.S. Postal Service have my cell phone number? Be very suspicious of those things and do what you did. Go to the source and confirm it that way.
And, the thing that I guess that would fool some people is you'd look and see, well, HTTPS, that's a secure server, and then it ends with .us. Well, gosh, that looks like it's a government website. But I believe most of our U.S. government, don't they go .us, .gov?
Yeah, so it's .gov.
.gov.us or .ca if it's the state.
Yeah, .ca, exactly.
And if you're not the government, you can't get a .gov.
No, that's controlled by just them. They own that domain and nobody else can get to it.
Right. And then it's the, what's that international body that assigns the suffixes?
ICANN, ICANN.
Yeah. ICANN will not give a .gov to just anybody. There's a big vetting process to get a .gov suffix that, the people, the government have to be able to produce information to ICANN to get those addresses. So just a word to the wise, don't fall for that.
Absolutely. It's, especially this time of year, you're going to see a lot more of those scams as we head into silly season and you have all this stuff going on, not just the holidays, but the elections and all sorts of frauds going on with the student loan forgiveness program. So just be hyper vigilant and suspicious.
All right. Hey, one other thing to mention before we get to the health story, because we like to cover late-breaking tech news. Of course, the big news that moved on Thursday night was that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter. He is now the owner of Twitter, and it looks like some big changes may be happening there. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there are some big changes coming. He's already fired the top executives of the company who he accused of lying to him. But I don't think it's going to be as radical as some people are concerned about, because at the end of the day, Elon is overpaying for Twitter by quite a bit. I mean, its market valuation is currently around $25 billion, but he's paying essentially $50 billion for it. So he's going to have to find a way to monetize that. And he can't do that by scaring away potential advertisers or potential members that feel like it's the wild, wild west. So I suspect that we are going to see some changes. And I think he's going to try to find ways to do some things to make sure that they can eliminate more of the bots and more of those fake accounts.
Right. And we'll talk about that in a future program, how people get after bots and eliminate them. But let's move on to the big story for today, and that is out of Forbes that Apple, of all people, are going to launch health insurance in 2024. Now, not for their own employees, but this is health insurance that you and I could purchase. What's going on with Apple getting into health insurance?
Well, so Apple is going to leverage the information that it already collects from, all those folks that are out there that own Apple devices like the Apple Watch or even an iPhone, that they track their steps, their biometrics, all the metrics that we track when we exercise. All of that stuff is available to Apple, and they want to monetize that. They want to turn around and say, okay, well, we're going to partner with a major health insurance provider, probably like a Blue Shield or Anthem, and offer a policy that's exclusive to the folks that subscribe to these Apple devices that allows them to potentially lower their premiums for health insurance because they are statistically less likely to get ill because they are exercising, they are tracking their biometrics, and you can show trends and things like that. And I think that Apple is smart in that they already have all this data, and now they can offer it as a service to health insurance companies that can then offer discounts to the folks that own Apple devices, which then will encourage other people to buy Apple devices, and the circle continues. But I think this is not unique to Apple. I think we're going to start seeing this kind of partnership with tech companies who, have access to this data, whether it's an Apple Watch or Samsung or, a Fitbit or any number of devices that are out there that do the same sort of thing. Having that information available and being able to use that to control the population of consumers that are buying these policies is going to change insurance dramatically.
Yes. And really, if you think about it, one of the areas in our consumer spending, one of the most opaque areas is healthcare. We have no idea why we pay as much as we pay for what we're getting. And it's very difficult to ever get any transparency in healthcare costs, whether we're talking about insurance or a stay in the hospital, what have you. It's just like an area that it's very, very murky. And so perhaps Apple's efforts getting into this and other tech companies going into it will be able to bring some transparency to that industry and also put some downward pressure on those healthcare premiums.
Absolutely. I think that's what the intent is, and I think it's going to work out that way.
That's Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us today on Power Talk Radio. Online, you'll find them at alvareztg.com. At Alvarez is their Twitter handle. And Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
You can give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.
And by the way, Luis, looking ahead to Monday, Halloween, what are we going to be talking about on that spooktacular day?
Well, we're going to be talking about what you can do to try to protect your privacy on the web and erase some of that information that's out there.
All right. We'll talk about Delete Me and other services starting in the 8 o'clock hour Monday here on Power Talk. Thanks, Luis.
Thank you, Mark.